Hello my dear students, very good morning to everyone. Welcome back to your English class. I hope you all are good at home. Students, in this class we are going to start the first chapter of English grammar, that is the sentence. So let's begin with the sentence. So students, in this chapter we are going to cover the following contents. We will understand what is sentence, what is phrase and what is clause. So let's move and learn all of them. So students, you all must be having idea that what the sentence is, right? So a group of words that conveys complete sense is called a sentence. Means if you are talking about the sentence must convey the complete sense. Okay, and a sentence always begins with the capital letter and ends with a full stop. Okay, an exclamation mark or a question mark as well. So a sentence must begin with a capital letter and it may end with a full stop, question mark or an exclamation mark. So in short we can say that a sentence conveys the complete sense and it begins with the capital letter and ends with a question mark, full stop or exclamation mark. Clear? So let's understand this with an example. Kids are playing in the garden. Here you can see that kids is a subject and playing is a verb. So a sentence must have a subject and a verb. Okay, so what is subject and predicate? The parts of the sentence. So a sentence have two parts, subject and predicate. So what is subject? It shows what the sentence is about or who or what is performing an action in the sentence. It means the subject tells us the doer of the action. Okay, and whereas predicate, the part of a sentence which has the verb and which tells us about the subject is what the subject is or does. Means predicate tells us about the subject, what does it do. Okay, so this is the subject and predicate. Now let's understand this with an example. You can see Jennifer walked to the store. So here the underlined word, that is Jennifer, is a subject because about the Jennifer we have talked in this sentence. Now walk to the store, this part will be called as predicate. To understand it more easily, we can say that the first part of the sentence will be a subject and the other part of the sentence will be called as predicate. I think I clear to you. Now the next topic is phrase. Do you know what is phrase? Students, phrase is a group of words that work together to make meaning, but it is not a complete sentence. Means a phrase is a group of words which conveys some sense but not the complete sense. Clear? In other words, it does not have both a subject and a verb. It means phrase does not have a subject as well as a verb. Clear? So to understand it more clearly, we have some examples for you on the table, in the corner, at the market. So you can see this, that in these phrases there is no subject and a verb. So these phrases are called phrase just because they are not having a subject and a verb and they are not conveying a complete sense. Now the next topic is what is a clause. Students, clauses are groups of words that have both subject and predicates. Okay, so clauses have both subject and predicate, whereas phrases does not have a subject and predicate. Okay, this is the main difference between the phrase and the clause. Let's understand it with example. Because it is raining. It is not the complete sentence, but it is conveying some sense, right? And it is also having subject and a verb. You can see it is a subject here and raining is a verb, right? But he went to there anyway. He is a subject and went is a verb. Similarly, before they go to the airport, They is a subject and go is a verb. So a clause has a subject and a verb. Clear? Now there are two kinds of clause. First is independent clause and the second one is a dependent clause. Now what do you mean by dependent clause and independent clause? Students, independent clause is the clause one that can stand alone as a sentence. Means this kind of clause don't need any kind of support. Okay, but dependent clause, this is a clause that is usually need the support of a sentence. Means this kind of sentence need the support of the another sentence, this of the another clause, right? So to make this meaningful, you can look at the example. Our planets revolve around the sun. This is conveying the complete sense on its own. So this clause does not require any other clause to make it meaningful, right? Similarly, you can see this example when the president arrives. So this is not conveying the complete sense, right? It is incomplete. It has subject and verb, but it is not conveying complete sense. So this will be called dependent clause because it needs the support of the another clause. Understood? Not. So let's clear it more. You can see this example. Although it was raining, John went for a walk at Civitan Park. So here the underlined group of word is called dependent clause. Why? Because this clause, this group of word is dependent on this this group of word to make it meaningful. So if we will just read this part, although it was raining, it is not conveying the complete sense. Okay, it is conveying just some sense, not the complete sense. But if we will read this part, John went for a jog at Civitan Park, it is conveying a complete sense without the need of support of this part of this group of words, right? So this will be called independent clause and this will be called dependent clause because it is dependent on the another clause to make it meaningful. Clear? So I hope all the points are clear to you. Now your homework is do question A and B given at page number 3 of your grammar book. Use pencil only. You have to do A and B question given at page number 3 and you have to use the pencil only to complete the questions. Am I clear to you? Okay students, we will meet in the next class with the same topic. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Bye-bye.